Governors, this is one of those that you want to keep if you want to remember who was who at this time. An historic picture that I think will be remembered for days to come. So clearly this is one of the issues that is a common issue that is faced by all the governors around the counties. So let's take a look at that, because it's got some interesting takes on what's happening in Uasin Gishu, in Kilifi County, in Kirinyaga County, Taita Taveta, and that has been detailed on pages 2 and 3. Governors are declaring war on land thieves, but what are each of them doing? Obviously, in as much as this is a shared problem, they all have different ways of approaching it. If you take a look at pages 2 and 3, and we will get a shot of that, very new counties today. Mandago is vowing to scuttle influential land cartels in Uasin Gishu. As you can see on page 3, Murutu from Taita Taveta is out to change the face of what is known to many as the squatter county, with many of those residents not being able to have land. Also what's happening in Kilifi, as well as in Nyandaro, where the state has recovered already 2 parcels of grabbed land. Let's move on to the other counties and see what they are doing, and that is on page 4 and page 5. We can start off with page 4, where Governor Dr. Alfred Mutua of Machakos County is laying the ground to repossess stolen land. And of course, in the big one, Nairobi County, on page 5, what's happening there? Well, Evans Kidero has declared war on land grabbers. He's vowing to repossess the large tracts of land which have been lying bare for such a long time. So when you take a look at this, these are the efforts that are being done by all. And what's important, though, even as you read these stories in greater detail, is the role of the Cabinet Secretary in charge of land, and that is Charity Ngilu, and just what it is she would be able to bring to the table, the study that will be done. Of course, a lot of what they will be doing to repossess land in the various counties will be done in conjunction with that ministry that's happening there. If you want to know some other news that's making headlines in the counties, well, let's come to Nairobi County, where you'll remember him, former Cherangani MP Joshua Kutunyi. What is he up to now? Well, he is based in Nairobi County, and that's because he was appointed President Uhuru Kenyatta's political advisor. So what does he think about that new job, and what does that entail, and what will he bring to the table for President Uhuru Kenyatta? So that is on page 7, and so much more that's happening in the counties. Of course, there's the county lifestyle, there's what's happening in campuses. Apparently, there's some baboons that have gone wild in the Nairobi National Park, and so many other stories for the counties. And seeing as it's the roll-up paper today, we've got the managing editor of that, Kipkoech Tanui. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you, Yvonne.
Right, let's talk about this. It's brand new today with a new name, the counties. But let's talk about the original idea of having a newspaper that focuses on the counties.
Okay, first I want to thank you for inviting me here. We are happy and to take you through the journey of transformation of this country, especially moving from the devolved units. And as you look at this paper, we started off with the County Weekly in 2011, July. And what we are looking at is we have so much happening in this country. What the mainstream media is the national radar. But where do we have the local radar that looks at issues that are happening within the devolved units? Right. There is a lot happening, let me give you several examples. We went on a tour as a Standard Management. We've been going around meeting all the governors. We've had very interesting experiences that I think few would know unless they go down there. Right. And that's the medium that we want to give these counties and their people, the governors, so that they come on the national level. For example, we went to Trans Nzoia and we met a governor by the name Patrick Ayemba. And what he's working on is he's asking the question, why is it that in Kenya we've never had a fertilizer factory? And yet we import all these years. Of course, it's because of the cartel of corruption, cartels that import fertilizer. So it's not been possible to have a fertilizer factory. He's working on it, and he says one of the main ingredients in making fertilizer is in his county, Mount Yalcon. He's thinking of branding Kitale maize. We talk about Trans Nzoia as the granary of Kenya. Yes. But millers come as far as Mombasa to take the maize in gunias and go and mill and package under different names and come and sell in Kitale shops. So what he's thinking is adding value to Kitale maize. So you'll not be seeing them moving in gunny bags. We went to Elgeyo Marakwet County, and you find a beautiful landscape, and they're thinking about putting cable cars in conjunction, teaming up with some cities abroad. And therefore you have the K escarpment and they took an escarpment and
you can tour that in
yes,
the cars.
and they're also
Wow.
thinking of how to market it as the county of champions, because it's the high altitude camp. In fact, when we were there, the runner, Mohammed, was there training without bodyguards, and he's an international star.
Yeah.
And then we went to, and they are thinking of making it an international arena where it's commercialized.
Yes.
The runners are sort of registered, because they, as of now, they just come in and work out. We thought, we went to Baringo County, and we found that the governor there, Cheboy, is thinking of, in conjunction with the KO counterpart, creating something along the lines of the Tour de France, bicycle riding international level, from Cabernet to Iten. And you can imagine the meandering in that valley. It's so beautiful. Yeah. Went to West Pokot, and we were shocked myself that West Pokot isn't as dry as we think. It's greener, it's as green as Kiambu. And it has two key, it is known for two things. One is the best merino ship in this country from Lelan Islands, and one of the best Byrethrum in global rating.
Really?
From Lelan. And you do not know. These stories now, these are stories we don't get to hear.
That's right.
We don't, it's a pity. And let me give you another example. When we went to meet the governor of Baringo, he told us a few weeks before that there was an attack, cattle rustlers in the boundary between East County and West and the neighboring one. And children had been displaced from schools, families were living in camps, and they were under the support of the Kenya Red Cross. Now, what shocked him is that when he bought the paper, and he found the story was tagged quick read. Quick read to him seems to mean that just glance at and move on.
Through quickly,
now, imagine if we are that medium where we are going to give these guys this kind of story. So what we are doing is we are having 5 editions. We've clustered this country into 5, the 47 counties into 5. Right. So what we'll do is we give several pages, not more than 10, that will be changing for each of the cluster. And it will be about their stories. And it will be beautiful, and I invite you all Kenyans to join us in this journey. Okay.
Telling those stories, and some of those that, like you say, we never get to hear because we want to talk about the big political stories, but this is the one that does that. Tell us what to expect now from the counties, because I do know there's a question and answer session with your governor, and you can get to write in and say these are the questions. But let's now see what we can expect from the counties as it rebrands, revamps, and relaunches this morning.
Yeah, the slogan for the counties has changed, and now it's closer to you. What it means is we are coming close to you and telling you a story. So we believe that we have to be more relevant to our readers. When government functions are devolved, resources are devolved, people move back to the counties. And that is where development and all the other social and political functions are happening. It will be different. So we are looking at, for example, other than the operations of the county assemblies, obviously you'll be looking at the education, for example, and we have created a page for university news. Virtually in each of our counties, we have a university campus. Yes. What is happening? What are the opportunities that are available? What are the academic programs? So we'll be telling it from the county level. We are opening up the courts. You cannot imagine that at every county we have the courts, but Yvonne, you don't get to hear what's happening.
That's right.
And it involves people right there. So we all talk about the big cases in Nairobi and then towns like Nakuru. But they are very interesting stories that either it's about land or environmental issues that are relevant to those people.
Yes.
So what we are doing is, and I'm insisting on this, is relevance to the market that is at the county.
That's right.
And that's why I want to call this paper the local radar. Your local radar down there.
Yeah,
yes. And for example, we have decided, as a group, we are going to have in this paper regional columnists. Regional columnist means that instead of, I'm a columnist myself, what I write is at the national level.
That's
I may not address issues to do, say, at the Tana River. So we'll be having in those counties, within that cluster, a columnist for every week. Yeah. And they will be addressing issues
that they face every single day.
The wearer of the shoe knows where it pinches.
That's true. That's very true.
Yes.
Okay. So finally, this rolls out today, and the paper is there. It still is a weekly paper that we know. So that means there's a lot of time to gather quite a bit of that that comes in. Okay.
Well,
All right. So just finally, tell us what it is that we've highlighted today. It's obviously all about land issues, I think, which is one of those issues that is cross-cutting across the country. Land is one of those emotive issues. So let's talk about why you chose to focus on this one for the inaugural issue of the counties.
We were thinking about something that unites Kenya. What unites Kenya? It's something that bites you or pains you across the counties, regardless of party and political affiliation. So we came up with this story because it's happening. Over the years, we talked about land problems and public land that was taken. And you see, the government bureaucrats did not have any emotional attachment to where they were governing because they were obviously from outside.
Yes.
But now you have people who were brought up there. They were seeing this school having 50 acres. Now it is 20 acres.
That's
They
right.
saw that this is residence. It was 5 acres. Now there are some brickwicks who have taken and parceled out. So when we talked to the governors, we found actually in the retreat in Mombasa, this is one of the biggest agendas they have. And it is going to be the talking point in this country because when they move, and others have, like in West Pokot, you've seen they have given out notices. It's going to change the political discourse in this country. And it's a very powerful approach because people have been saying, how do we settle the land issue? And as the leader of the governors, Isaac Ruto, said, we are going to work within the law, we are going to work with the Anti-Corruption Commission, and then we are also going to work with the Land Commission. So it will be the due process. I don't think it will be vendetta, but it's something that will interest Kenyans, and we invite you to follow up this debate where it goes. And I'm sure even the other media houses will follow it up.
That's right.
Yes.
What I find interesting about it is that though this is a common problem, all the governors seem to be tackling it with a unique approach that is suitable for their counties. So it's not one solution fits all.
The style will
yes?
obviously be different.
Yes.
The style will be different. And of course, again, the realities on the ground are different. And the areas that are suffered this more than the others.
That's
you can imagine,
true.
For example, the coast belts, the beaches, the beach plots.
That's right.
Kitale, the ADC farms, and Nakuru, a lot of them.
Okay.
You carry land.
Right. So all of these issues that unite us, but that will now require different approaches. And that is what we're reporting about. That what the people of Machakos County do won't be the same as what the people in Taita Taveta do.
But nonetheless, it's an issue that we have to confront.
That's right. Thank you very much for joining us this morning. We've been speaking to Kipkoech Tanui. Asante sana for joining us this early morning. He is the managing editor of The Counties. It's brand new. Please do go out and take a look at it. Some of the issues that unite us are there, and that's what's important about the counties, that even though now we have that single unique approach, but let's all remember we are one country. But now, from wherever you are, it's not just about what's big and happening in Nairobi. There is now a newspaper that talks about you wherever you are in this corner of the country, all 47 counties. So please do take a look at that, and do give us your feedback. Let us know what you think on AT40 as you go out and get a copy of that, and tell us what other stories you would like, including the fact that, of course, you can be one of those columnists that's telling the story of the area in which you live in the way only you can. As a look at the press review, go out and get a copy of The Counties this Friday morning, and do let us know what you think. Have a very great day. We want to conclude there for now. Brenda Mwai and the band is up next. Do have a very great weekend ahead. We will see you again on Monday. Bye-bye.